All right, e-bikers, special show for you today here on Crisscross. I've got Pau Auclair, the Chief Product Officer at Pedego Ebikes, and he joins me now from the West Coast there in California. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
I'm great today. Thank you for having me. Excited to jump into it.
Yeah, definitely. You guys sent me your Pedego Element recently, so I want to do a little follow-up call with you here and talk about Pedego, talk about the e-bike a little bit, and see what's new, what's coming from Pedego e-bike team as well. So I guess let's start out with well, I've had the Element for I don't know, maybe a month now, roughly. I've turned it into my fishing e-bike, Paul. So I put a little dual rod holder on the back and a little dairy case or dairy man basket to hold my fishing gear on there. So I've been using it to go fishing, and
That's awesome. I saw that in the review that you said you were going to modify the bike for the fishing rig, so I'm excited to see it.
yeah, definitely. I might do a little accessory video for it in the coming weeks, and that'll be part of it. You can see it then, but yeah, it's doing very well in regard to that. I love the look of it, and it's been a great bike so far. Its first impressions were pretty good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, we wanted to make something that our objective is to have product that people can leverage and utilize, for it to be complementary in their lives. So I'm really excited to hear that you found a good fit for it.
Definitely. Is that your best seller of all the models you have? Or?
Yeah, it certainly is one of the best sellers. One of the coolest things about it is almost a one size fits all type of product. You can make modifications. So we've had people that are even shorter than the recommended height get on that product, and it's something that's applicable to them. And then customers that are over 6 foot that can comfortably fit on the bike, which I think is pretty neat. There aren't a lot of products out there, or bike products in general, that have kind of that capability, which is something that we're really thrilled to be able to put together in a package to have available.
Yeah, it's those Fat Tire e-bikes. Yeah, they seem to fit almost everybody in terms of just the design and stuff like that. But I'm 6 foot, so yeah, it fits me well. It's a very compact bike too. The frame is not very long. I think it's got a nice compact design form.
Yeah, which brings a lot of stability. I saw it in the air.
Although I do kind of like I can feel that front wheel pop up sometimes a little bit.
I saw that
Nice.
you were cruising around without hands on the handlebars, which we don't recommend, but it's good to see that
All
you
part of
had
the
the
testing.
stability. Yeah, all part of the testing. Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Yeah, it's the what we found too. Since we've been manufacturing bicycles and developing product, that most of our riders, it's different today, but historically a lot of our riders hadn't been on a bike product in years, sometimes since they were kids, maybe 40-50 years ago. And so it's one of the things that we like to be able to achieve is just a really clean experience into the product, and something that's very logical and intentful when they get on it. And so that short wheelbase, it's easier to control, it's easy to step over, it's easy to get onto. So yeah, we're trying to check a lot of boxes, and I think we were able to do most of them.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, looking forward to more rides with it, and as the summer goes on here. So, run us through the history of Pedego. I mean, I've heard about it for a few years. I remember 5 years ago down in Norwalk, Connecticut, a shop opened up there, I think, at one point, and that was before I even was thinking about e-bikes. So I'd heard of the name before, but give me some of the history around the company.
Yeah, absolutely. So the company was founded in 2008, and to my knowledge, we're one of the, strictly talking e-bikes, one of the longest running and existing e-bike companies out there, which is really exciting. So we've been in the game for a long time. We eat, sleep, and breathe it. That's for sure. We opened up our first Pedego only store or dealership in 2013, and then since then we've opened an additional 219. So we have 220 located all throughout the US, which brings a very unique experience. Into the e-bike experience, that's for sure. Historically, I think that bike shops had been independent bike shops have been timid towards e-bikes, and so it's been a very, very welcoming experience into the ecosystem. And our slogan's "Hello Fun," so we sell fun. We want people to enjoy the product. We want it to integrate into their life in a way that just brings them joy. So it's been super important to us to build that network out and to enforce just the positives that e-biking can bring into your life.
Yeah. Is every shop locally owned, or does the corporate own any of the shops at all, or how does that work?
Yeah, we don't own any of them. They're all owner operated. It's been a wonderful partnership with those stores as we've been growing the dealer network. And a lot of the store owners were customers that rented a bike, traveled to Huntington, back in 2013 or 2014, and test rode a bike and said, I'm really interested in this. Like, let me learn more about it. And it's just been growing ever since. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. I think, from my perspective, when you buy a Pedego e-bike, you're buying that service, that local flavor that comes along with it. And that's why you do charge a little bit higher on the pricing end. But tell me from your perspective, what makes you guys different out there?
The dealer experience is absolutely number one. A lot of our competition, or a lot of the competition out there, is direct to consumer. You're not interfacing, you're not joining the community. You don't have the local supporter service. It's something that you get to be a part of. You get to have that local support. We have our POG group, which is our Pedego owners group, that you get to become a part of. We have big events. We have our paloozas. We celebrate, the product, and then of course, the big one is just having the peace of mind of having somebody local that can take care of a problem if it pops up. So we have the service available all throughout the country as well.
Yeah, very
It's
cool.
Yep.
Yep. How many models now on the Pedego lineup there?
Oh, geez, we have 20 models and
20.
an
Wow.
an enormous amount of trim options. Color is probably one of the largest product differentiators that we have, among styles, of course, but one of the biggest differentiators we have against the product that's available out there today. A lot of grays, a lot of black colors, a lot of whites.
Okay.
But the Interceptor, for instance, comes in about 15 different color combinations depending on the trim option. So the customization, being able to make the product your own is certainly really important to us, and the color options and the colorways are certainly a lot of fun. We have different battery trim options between the products, and so you have some customers that they're good with the lower trim, and some want to go out and crush 60 or 70 miles, and we have battery trim options that are larger. And then one of the favorites that we offer too, that I think is fairly specific to us, is our mag wheel options. So
Oh
we
yeah.
have magnesium wheel options for most of the bicycles, which is super cool. Our own designs, and it just brings like a lot of flavor with some throwbacks to some of the older styles back in the day.
Yeah, I love mag wheels, especially the ones on that avenue that you guys have. Those kind of like curved ones. Those are just sexy.
Yeah, we just recently, within I would say last 6 months or so, we released the mag wheels for the Element line as well. So we have them in the
Oh, you did?
20-inch
Okay.
version. Yeah, and those are super cool. We went with kind of a design that was closer to maybe an automotive car wheel. So those have been really, really neat, and the feedback's been really good so far.
Yeah, definitely. Just really just changes the whole look of the bike, I think. And I love your color choices out there as well. The colored rims are just, to me, like I got the blue on the Pedego Element, and it just makes the bike, I think. And you would think that more companies would have colored rims like that, because to me, that sells itself, I think, almost.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you say that. That's something that absolutely stands us out from the competition out there. And I understand, from the manufacturing side, it does bring a certain level of complication. And so I understand why they may not, but the pros definitely outweigh the cons. So we're just thrilled to hear that you love them. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely. Now, explain your warranty to me because I think it's like a 5-year warranty. It's probably sounds like the best in the industry. But what's behind that? What do you get with that? And talk us through that.
Yeah, definitely. So the warranty is broken down into a few different pieces. So you have parts, labor, battery frame, and then an optional add-on during the time of purchase. So um, the 5-year warranty, it doesn't cover for parts, doesn't cover ordinary wear and tear, but any manufacturing defect that pops up, we'll take care of right away. We have a whole warehouse right down the street full of parts. Our stores have parts, so if something pops up, we're going to address it. We're not going to be pushing back and forth, trying to nickel and dime the situation. We want to make sure again that everybody's out there just enjoying their product. And then one of the things generally coming into it, the dealer we'll work with you to get those parts installed. So the only thing that that the consumer needs to cover is just labor that pops up. Oftentimes, it's covered anyway. That may be something that the local dealer offers, but those are generally just trivial costs that come up. The battery itself is a 5-year warranty, so it's prorated after the 36 months. So within the first 3 years there, it's covered if anything pops up from material or manufacturing defect. And then the frame's lifetime. So lifetime of the frame for the original owner. They don't have to worry about anything happening. We'll cover it. And then there's an option during purchase for if you purchase a qualified lock, which is in the print in the manual or online. We have a warranty against theft. So essentially, if you can produce the required information, you'll have a anti-theft guarantee for the product, which is great. So just a lot of peace of mind for an exorbitant amount of time, which we're really, really excited to be able to offer. I mean, like the industry standard, I think is a year, and it's like not even close to any of the stuff that we're doing. So it's just ultimate peace of mind. We want everybody to just be enjoying the product and not having to worry about like, oh my God, if something breaks 12 months from now, next season, because we want to make sure everybody's getting as many seasons as possible out of the product. They're going to have to buy a whole new bike, or, in some cases it might be less expensive, just to purchase a whole new product. So, we want to make sure that that's not something that anybody ever experiences.
Yeah. Do you guys have, you must have like some like famous customers in terms of how far they've driven on their e-bike, their Pedego e-bike.
Oh, totally. Oh my goodness. So many stories. My favorites are the ones where they talk about just like, oh, I got 100 miles on my battery. Or I got 4,000 miles on my tires. And, just talking about like, oh my goodness, I commuted on a road bike for years. And I was changing out tires like every 500 or 600 miles. And that was on a pedal bike, not something with electric assist or a throttle. And so it's just so cool to hear these stories where it's just exceeding the expectation of the customer, which is super, super cool. And my favorites are the ones where we offer pins as part of the Pedego's owner group. You can get a pin relative to the mileage that you've achieved on your display. And so, we're like, we'll do 100 and 500,000 and then a 5,000. But, this is way back in the day, maybe probably 6 or 7 years ago, we were saying, not too many people hit 5,000. Boy, were we wrong. People were asking for 10,000 mile pins and 15,000 mile pins. So it's so rewarding developing and designing these products and just seeing people just absolutely just take them further than you ever would have imagined. Just so neat.
Definitely. So if you get 20 models now, that's a lot. What's on the horizon for you guys? Can you give me a peek at all into what's coming or what you guys are thinking about?
We definitely stay in tune with with the trends, and colorways are definitely something that we take into consideration a lot. We phasing colors in and out and maybe doing seasonal colors. We have a lot of projects in the pipeline right now. Nothing I can speak about today, but I do, we will be able to touch on those a little later. We'll be making some big announcements, but I will say it's some of the coolest new product development, in the company's history. I've been a part of course, all the products up until now, but it's really neat to see where the technology's gone, and then being able to leverage the tech that's occurring sort of in the sphere, in the ecosystem. So things that are happening on battery technology, in electric vehicles like cars, and being able to leverage that in the bike industry, in talking about, just things that are just occurring in the technology sector as a whole, and seeing those overlaps in where they can proliferate within the e-bike sphere. So yeah, cool, really cool stuff. We're doing really unique stuff. I just, unfortunately, I wish we could talk about it today, but I can't touch on specifics today.
All right, fair enough. What about your batteries? Are they UL certified? You're seeing a lot of stories now about companies starting to do that in the industry, but are yours?
Yeah, so the batteries themselves today are not UL
What
certified.
cells do you guys use, by the way? I forgot.
We just use name brand cells, and so when I say name brand cells, it's Samsung, LG, or Panasonic cells, and so we've been using those cells since 2013. So longer than most of our competition's been around for. So we've been using those 18650s that themselves, the cells themselves are 2580 UL 2580 certified. And so the cells themselves are certified. Our packs today meet UN 383, which is very similar in relative testing requirements to UL 2271. So we are in the process of doing UL 2271, the testing requirement. But today everything's UN 383. Very minor difference between getting that certification in 2271. So yep, it's underway. Yeah, we're aware of the legislation in New York,
Yeah, New York City.
implementing that requirement. Yeah, and we've been keeping our eyes peeled on other local municipalities and seeing what they're doing. We've gotten some feedback from people that live in maybe HOAs or apartment complexes, and their HOAs have had some concerns on the safety of the product, and all of the relevant documentation that we have for either quality control or current compliance testing, we've been able to provide, and it's shut the situation down. Everybody's been happy, so that's been wonderful.
Yep. Give me one tip for making your Pedego e-bike last.
For last, just general maintenance. It's surprised how many people just don't do just a yearly maintenance, if that. Speaking from like I said, commuting and putting hundreds of miles on the bikes, my personal bike a week. I was maintaining the bike like once a month, probably more periodic than that. So we like to say at the very least, take it into the shop once a year. Just do a general tune. That's part of that 5-year warranty requirement. Just a yearly tune up. Get that checked off. When you can prolong issues, it increases the longevity of the enjoyment. And so, there are mechanical parts. It's just the reality of moving parts. You need to maintain them. And so we just say pop in once a year at the very least. Anything beyond that, making sure that your tire pressure is at the correct PSI before you go out on rides, to make sure that you can avoid a flat or maybe a pinch flat or something happening. Just the small little things like that just take a few minutes to take a look at will just help make sure that you don't have to worry about any issues when you go out. When we do our friends rides here, when we go down to the beach, it's just a simple thing. Take a look at, make sure everything's tight, make sure the stem's tight, make sure the pedals are seated tightly. I'll take a look at the axles real quick, and then make sure air's in the tire. You're good.
Definitely. Cool. So if I walked into your house today, Paul, what e-bikes would I see?
Oh, geez. Oh goodness. About a month ago, I think I had 8 bikes in my garage. Today I have 2. I have an Avenue, and we have an Element. And my daily rider here, it's right outside my office, is a pretty tricked out Avenue. that I used to go back and forth between the offices, and then we'll go out on a lunch ride. That's definitely my daily driver today.
Yeah,
And
what's
then
life like there at the Pedego offices? You guys just like ride the lunch every day, or what's going on over there?
yeah, we're so lucky. We're right next to the Santa Ana River Trail, which runs right down to when you get to 6 miles down to the beach, and you can either take a right to go into Huntington or the left to go into Newport. And then either way, it's like 8 miles of beach on either side. So we're super lucky, having such a great playground to be riding product around and testing it. So yeah, no complaints here, that's for sure.
Nice. Well, you should have some of us YouTubers down there so we can do some filming there and
That
stuff.
that sounds like a great idea. We might have to do that when we're talking about the new product.
Definitely, man. I'm all about those group rides. So, well, Paul, I appreciate your time today, and thanks for stopping by here on Crisscrossed. And yeah, definitely hit us up again when you guys have some news. Love to see what you guys are up to next.
Sounds great, Chris. Thank you so much again for having me.
No problem. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Crisscrossed.